So my husband and I are having just a small Christmas party, and we've asked everyone to bring appetizers, but I am going to make a few of my own. So today is the day before the party, and we're going to get some things prepped. I need to get some onions started for some caramelized onion dip, and we are also going to be making a hummus dip that's really good. It's actually an Israeli veggie salad is what it's called. And then the last one is these hot honey whipped feta crostini little bites. So to get started, I am just going to slice up these onions because the caramelized onions take the longest. So we'll get started with that, and then tomorrow we'll throw them in the crock pot with some cheese, and yeah, it's going to be delicious. What are you doing?
Me.
You're still in your jammies. I can't see you. You have to come back here.
Hey, you eat the apples?
These are onions.
Onions?
Yeah. They're kind of spicy when you eat them. So I'm just going to do one at a time, and I'm going to thinly slice these. Large onions, but I'm just going to do 4 medium-ish ones. Honestly, I might cut up one more just because these cook down so much. Oh, he is not happy. Ooh, I should have put on my goggles. Huh. These are spicy in Mama's eyes. So I am going to turn on the stove maybe to a medium temperature. I am going to drizzle some olive oil. And I'm going to start adding the onions in here as I cook. Or as I cook them. As I cut them. So it's okay for it to start at a low temperature. You really just want to cook these low and slow. If you cook them too hot, they're just going to burn and they're not going to be as delicious.
So I'm just going to finish chopping the 4 onions. The recipe called for 2 large onions, but I just have some smaller ones here. Let me know if you guys think that chopping them this way helps with the burning sensation in your eyes or the crying. I think that it did, but maybe it's just my eyes got used to it. That's kind of what I'm saying here. Okay, so now we're going to start the hot honey for the whipped feta crostini appetizer. So I'm just going to mince up a garlic clove here. I think I have 2. And this hot honey is super simple. It's just half a cup of honey, half a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, half tablespoon of hot sauce. Here I used sriracha. Couple minced garlic cloves, and half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. So all I did was I turned my pot onto about a medium low and just let it all cook together. And then later I'm just going to put it in a jar and put it aside for tomorrow.
Okay, so we have our honey and our onions going, but we are going to be starting the whipped feta in our food processor. So I have it right here, and yeah, we're just going to go by the instructions, and I'm going to put it in a Tupperware, I think, for tomorrow. So we need to start by combining 4 ounces of feta cheese. If I can get this open, I'm just struggling today. A whole container, 4 ounces of feta cheese. And we're going to do cream cheese and cottage cheese, and we're putting it in this whole food processor. So we need 1/4 cup of cottage cheese and a 1/4 cup of cream cheese.
Okay, so here is the 4 ounces of feta, 1/4 cup of cream cheese, and 1/4 cup of cottage cheese. I just pulsed it a few times in the food processor, and then put it in a container and put it aside for tomorrow.
Okay, so now we need to start the hummus. And I've never actually made hummus before. Let me know if you have. And I didn't even think that I liked hummus until I had this one. So this is the only recipe that I've actually tried ahead of time. And it was so good. I could eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I am going to rinse and drain 2 cans of chickpeas. I will be right back. So the recipe called for 1 pound and 13 ounces chickpeas. So I just did 2 15-ounce cans. I'm going to put this into the food processor.
Yeah.
You will have to. Is it equal?
It's sour.
It is so sour.
It's spicy. It's sour. It's bucket cruncher. It's yellow. It's yellow. It's crusher. It's crapper.
Okay, so now we need 1 cup. I need 1, nope, this is 1 cup. I need 1 cup of tahini.
Now a big one.
We are going to pour this in here.
And a big one.
Use that spoon to stir it. Spread it all out. Okay, now what do we need? Let's see, we need 3/4 cup of lemon juice. So I got these here. To measure out 3/4 cup. We're gonna try to fill this. Sorry. So what we're gonna do, we are gonna try. Let me try, please. Thank you.
It's lemonade.
It's lemonade.
Okay, so I'm just going to clean out some of the seeds that still got in my juice. And I'm going to put it in my food processor. And then I'm going to also peel about 9 cloves of garlic. I probably used actually 7, and it was plenty. And I'm not even going to chop them up. I'm going to put them straight into the food processor. Then I'm going to add 1½ teaspoons of cumin and ½ teaspoon sriracha. And I actually end up putting this in my Vitamix because the food processor didn't get the hummus as smooth as I wanted. So I'm going to make a mental note to do that in the future. That way I don't dirty multiple kitchen appliances. Okay, so here I am just scooping it out of the food processor and putting it in the Vitamix.
We are gonna. Doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. I need to go get my little stick. Okay, we're gonna try this. See if this works. Okay, so thank you so much for spending this prep day with me. I will see you back tomorrow to get everything finished up and show you how it all comes together. But I am so happy that I did this a day early because my kitchen is a mess with some of the mishaps that happened. And yeah, I feel like I have cream cheese and hummus everywhere. So I'm gonna take a little bit of time and scrub the kitchen. That way there's less to do tomorrow. But all we have to do tomorrow is we have to bake the baguette so it's nice and crispy for the whipped feta and the hot honey. We have to just throw a few things in the crock pot for the caramelized onion jammy dip.
and then cut the vegetables and add them on top of the hummus. So I will see you in the morning.
Okay, so it's the next day and we're gonna get everything ready for the party. We have a party in just a couple hours, so we have some time to get things done and then vacuum and then set up and all the things. So the first thing I'm going to do is the most simple thing, and it's to do the hummus dip, or the Israeli vegetable salad is what it's called. So I was thinking I would probably just put it on. Come here. You want to be on camera? So I was thinking that I would just maybe put it on a big plate or maybe a couple plates.
So I ended up just using one plate for this. I spread about maybe half an inch, maybe an inch of hummus on the plate. I just spread it out nicely, and then we are going to cut up all of the vegetables and mix them together in a bowl with lemon juice and olive oil. Some salt and pepper too. And then we're gonna put it on top, and you'll see at the end it looks so pretty. And this hummus is so good. It's very garlicky. Kind of gives it a little bit of spice actually. So I am cutting the cucumber just into bite-sized pieces. My son kept asking for a pickle. That's what he called it. And I used a cherry tomato mix, and then I just used the small bell peppers because that's what I had. And then you'll see in my little pile over there, I also have mint. You can use basil if you don't have it. And I have green onions. The recipe actually calls for red onions, but I did not have that, so I just added green onions, and it tasted great. So I have them all in the bowl. Here's some lemon juice I'm just squeezing in, and I have salt and pepper already in there. And I believe I already put the olive oil as well. So here I'm just giving it a taste test. It was delicious. And this actually looks really festive and really Christmassy. So this is the naan that I'm serving with. I got it at Costco. It's really good. And I'm just trying it all together. Again, making sure the seasoning is good. And then I'm just going to spoon it on top. Guess I wanted to add a little bit more. So I was going to start scooping it on top of the hummus, but I decided to wait until a little closer to the party. So you'll see it at the end here. It actually looks super pretty and very Christmassy.
Okay, so something that I have to do is cut up the bread, and we're going to get it nice and crispy for the dips that we have. So I got my order today for groceries. I do a grocery delivery typically, just because of the newborn and a toddler, and that way I can just make my list and add everything to cart. It's super easy. First things first, I always usually have a glass of wine before a party because it just helps calm the nerves. And I put a French baguette. Is this called a French baguette? This is just a French bread. So it's a little bit bigger than I would probably pick out. But we're just gonna slice it up. Maybe about 1/2 inch slices or so.
So I'm just going to cut up the whole loaf and put it on my baking pan. I end up spraying both sides of the bread with avocado spray, and I put it in the oven at about 400 degrees or so for about 6 minutes per side, and it gets it all nice and crispy. And you'll see that I do cut these pieces in half for the whipped feta with the hot honey. And then I also cut up some for the caramelized onion dip, and I cut those into quarters just so they're nice bite-sized pieces. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit here while I'm waiting, get a little organized. Okay, so now we are going to get all of the ingredients ready for the caramelized onion dip. I just added a little balsamic to the onions, and I put in the microwave for like a minute to stir it all together. So this recipe takes about a half a circle of brie, and I'm just trimming off some of the skin, and then I'm going to cube it up and put it into a bowl. I am also going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese, half cup of sour cream, and half cup mayonnaise, and 3/4 cups of milk. This also will have garlic, red pepper flakes, black pepper, and Parmesan cheese. The Gruyere is actually just used as a topping. It's not mixed in, I don't believe. So at the beginning, I did say that I was going to put this all in the crock pot. I changed my mind on that. It is super easy to put it in the oven. It warms it all up. So I ended up doing that. That way it got a nice crust on top as well. So I made sure to spray my baking dish, and then I'm going to put it in the oven for about 10 minutes and stir it again. Just because the brie is a little harder to stir. And I am going to shred up my Gruyere cheese. Let me know if I'm saying that right, by the way. I'm going to shred it up. It's about a cup, and I'm just going to put it on the top, and then I'll bake the rest of like the 40 minutes. And get nice and bubbly.
For the whipped feta, you put it on the bread, and then you drizzle a little bit of honey. Do this over the honey. And then you would also top it with a pecan and a sprig of rosemary. I have my rosemary out in the garden, but I am the only one here with the baby, so I will wait till my husband gets home. I have one right here. So this is a candy pecan, a little different. Okay, okay. Mm. The whipped feta is so good with the hot honey. There goes my alarm for the... Yeah. Alexa, stop. I definitely recommend making these. I will show the whole spread when it's all done, just so you can see how fancy these turned out, or how nice they look anyway. So yeah, I'll show you that in just a few minutes.
Okay, so I'm just topping all of the toasted bread with the whipped feta. Then I'm going to drizzle the hot honey, and then I end up putting some pecans on top as well. I did not do the rosemary sprigs, but they would have looked really pretty. You can see my hummus over there with the naan bread, and I put some pita chips on the tray as well. See, I added some grapes and some berries to the tray with the crostinis as well. And then I'm cutting up the rest of the bread into quarters for the onion dip. And I will say that the onion dip was the hit of the party. It is the only thing that was completely gone. And we only had like 10 people at our party. So my husband told me to put that on the list for the future. So I'll be making it for New Year's. Here's the onion dip. It was amazing. So good. Going back around. There's my little charcuterie setup. The whipped feta with pecans on top, some berries and some grapes. And that hummus dip is so good. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope this video inspires you for your next get-together. And I hope you have a happy holiday season and
Merry Christmas.